Ugh. Is your stick hard?
Oh, I didn't think they moved. I don't want to break it.
It really makes me wonder.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I just wonder.
Good morning, guys. We're at the Museum of Aviation. This is in the Robins Air Force Base in Georgia. You can see the building here. So far it looks really cool. We haven't gone in yet. We're going to do the outside because we think it's going to rain. Luckily, we brought Braziere with us, Clay. I say we brought him. He actually drove us here. They're staying at our RV park. So, and he was in the Air Force. And he used to work on a B52 Bomber, which we're going to go and see now. So I know I sound pretty rough. Don't worry, guys. It's not the Rona. I think I seem to get this up until about mid-afternoon. I think it's something about my body can't handle the AC in our rig for some reason. Or maybe it's the, I don't know, we're in Georgia. Maybe it's allergies, something like that. But yeah, I feel fine. So I mentioned that Clay used to work on a B52 Bomber, so we actually have one here. I think he's inspecting it. He's like going underneath and looking at all the pipes and stuff. He used to work on the fuel system apparently. And these are really cool because they can be fueled in air. So an interesting fact, I think this comes out on the camera, but you'll see all the side is rippled. It almost looks like it's paper mache. They've just kind of fudged it together just for the museum. But Clay was saying that because they travel so quickly and at such a weird angle, and the wings bounce up and down, that it stretches the side of it, so it needs to have some flex in the sides for when it's actually flying. And you'll also notice on the wings, on the end of the wings here, there is a wheel. That's because when it comes down to land, the wings are so, what's the word? Bouncy. It's not the word, is it? The wings are so, whatever, you know what I mean. That they would just hit the ground, so they have to have wheels on the end of the wings so that it doesn't just hit the ground when it lands. He was also saying that when they're in the air, he said the wings could, up to about 10 feet in either direction, they can sway and bend around. That would scare the crap out of me, I think.
The oval parts are behind those. You pull those out and you can access some of the fuel cells in the wings. And all this is your bomb bays would open up. And they would carry nuclear weapons or other ordnance. I wish we had access because the bomb bays are extremely large.
So I saw you inspecting it. Does everything look all right? Are you happy with it?
It's great. I'd fly it today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just jump in. I think the tyres need air, but apart from that, we'll be fine.
There's some dry rot. There's a little dry rot.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, they should have put covers over them, but you know.
Well, I mean, we can pop back and get the Braziere if you want.
We could do that.
So I'm going to admit, I've never been inside the wheel bay of an aircraft before. How mad is this? I don't even know if we're allowed to be here, but this is cool. This is where the wheels come up and in. They fold up in under here. I think, you know in the movies, when you see them and they like climb on the wheels and they climb up inside, I didn't think you could do that. I thought it would be too tight, but honestly, I could do a flight in here. I think jump on the wheels, climb up in here. There's a bit over there. Don't know whether that closes up, but you can have a little sleep in there. It's doable. I got me a car. It's as big as a well, and we're heading on down to the Love Shack. It's the B52s. We got very excited for a moment here because we're both Call of Duty fans on video games, Xbox, and we thought this was the AC-130. So at a certain point in the game, if you get to a certain level, you get to fly an AC-130 and shoot down from that. This is actually the C-130, which is actually this is like transportation, but the AC-130 is basically exactly the same. It's just a gunship, so it has all the weapons and stuff on it, so you can, you know, shoot. But very cool to see this up close.
Imagine how long it takes to put all these rivets in.
Do you think they're done by hand? I guess they must be.
Probably so. I know back in World War II they had a lot of females because all the males were overseas in the war, and they had a lot of females that would work on the aircraft. And,
really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
So this would open up, this bit would open down, and then that bit would open up, and then you can get all of the cargo in and all of the weapons and things. So fly down, open it up, chuck everything out, put it back in, fly back off. Simple. So from a distance, we thought this was Airforce One, an old one, obviously not the current one, and it's not. One, because it's too small, and two, because there's no windows in it. But there's no like placard around to read, so we're not really sure what this is. So if you know what this is, please let us know. Okay, we found one. We found one. An actual AC-130. Looks just like that, but it's obviously a gunship, so cool day. Very cool day for us. This is weird. So actually, this is a very, very young aeroplane. You can tell because it's got that like puppy fat. So it kind of looks like it's just, you know, just a little chubby baby. That's what this is. And one day it'll grow up to be a big plane like the AC-130. So the placards here actually have some really cool information, and one thing that we've been comparing is how much they cost. And the cool thing is it's not the cost now, but the cost then. So for example, this Saberline, T-39A Saberline was delivered in 1963, and it cost $810,000, which don't know what that is today. Probably like 10 million, I'd guess. But at the time, 810,000. I probably know a couple of people who could buy one of these. Brand new. Not me, obviously. As you can probably hear, we got inside just in time. That is rain. Sounds like a wicked air conditioning unit, but the rain is just absolutely hooning it down. Hooning it. My favourite museum in the whole world is the Udvar Hazy Smithsonian Museum off 28 in the Virginia area, and that place is amazing. If you haven't been, go. Dead easy to get to. It's like $15 for parking for one car, and it's amazing. And this is very, very similar. Slightly smaller, but very similar, with some cool stuff in here as well. This really reminds me of that place. I didn't bring mine, but it would have been cool to have my drone with this one. I mean, it's a bit different, but it's basically the same thing. It's the same word, isn't it? Drone. I've got a drone, they've got a drone. I wonder if they need their Part 7 to fly it. So I'm sure many of you will recognise this one. This is the SR-71 Blackbird. Super Blackbird? I don't remember, I haven't looked at the plaque, but they have one of these in the Udvar Hazy Museum. And it's fascinating. And actually, if you've seen Transformers, the one in the Udvar Hazy Museum, Transformers 1 movie, the Udvar Hazy Museum, this is actually a Decepticon.
It's a Decepticon!
Decepticon! Decepticon! Behind him, big now!
What sort of hideous mausoleum is this? Answer me, pawns and knaves! Show yourselves, or suffer my infinite wrath!
So this turns into a Transformer, which is very cool. It's very cool to be there and see the see the movie. So if you go, watch the movie first. But these are fascinating. Like, they're crazy fast, and actually they're built for being up so high and going so fast that when they're on the ground, everything leaks. The good tour guide told me this once. Everything leaks really, really bad, but once it's in the air, it all contracts and extends, and you know, all of this stuff happens to it, and it all like swifts around, and yeah, and it stops all the leaks, and it flies perfectly when it's up that high going that fast. But on the ground, apparently they leaked. And as I was saying, even years after this hasn't been used, you can still see all the oil pans underneath, which is catching all of the stuff that's seeping out of it because it leaks so bad. We didn't even realise that there's actually 2 buildings here, possibly 3, so we are now in the 2nd building. So I won't talk through anything. If I see anything amazing, I will let you know, but here's a bit of a B-roll. So this building is more of a restoration area, so you can see a ton of things back here. There's a little mini Airforce One over there. Just anything that says United States of America on it is Airforce One to me. But so yeah, they're all restoring all of these things, and there's all the details and the plaques on what they're having to restore, how much money they need. This is all obviously done by donations, so they do need 30,000 for a new cap for the plane over there. If anyone's got a spare 30 grand. Yeah, it's very cool to see them actually working on it right now. Clay just told me that this is one of the 40mm cannons out of the AC-130. I mean, that's the type of thing that Terminator would walk around like just holding. Is that like on Predator? I wonder if that's the thing on Predator. That was cool. Anyway, we think this building is more focused around Vietnam. It's more than the newer era stuff than the World War II, World War I stuff. So it's pretty incredible. Right, our other camera died, but I kind of want to like put the Top Gun music over this, but we'll get banned off YouTube. Now I know this is an Air Force base, and this is Top Gun is Navy, but this kind of reminds me of Top Gun. But anyway, this is such a cool place. It's free. They are looking for donations of $30,000. But it is free if you don't have that, and it's amazing. This is far better than I ever thought it would be. Come here if you are. We're staying in Perry, Georgia, and this is maybe 20 minutes down the road. So yeah, come here. Robins Air Force Base, Museum of Aviation. It's definitely, you have to come and see it. There are 4 buildings, we found out, 4 buildings, and there's a ton of stuff outside. Another last interesting fact. Right at the beginning, we took a walk around the outside first, and we saw a plane that looked like Airforce One, United States of America on it, but it looked too small. It had no windows. We actually found out that's the emergency Airforce One. So if there is a big thing that the president has to be taken to his hiding place, that's the one they use. I guess it's smaller and it's faster, and it's only going to be for short distance. And actually, when JFK was shot, his brother was actually transported in that plane to go and basically identify the body. Anyway, on that note, we'll see you next week.
The co-pilot's here.
Do you have room? I'm mid-air right now. How did you do that? Iron Man.
Why? Is your stick hard?
Oh, I didn't think they moved. I don't want to break it.
Yeah, I think we may have to pay for it.
Oh, you've got a thing.
I've got a... It's moving something back there.
Oh yeah,
The flapper?
Yeah.
That sounds like it's going to break too.
Probably.
Now, when I pedal, does it move yours?
Yeah. What does it say on it? Bell. This is the air conditioning.
We don't need it. We've got doors open.
Yeah.
Is that 18?
I think that was Airwolf, wasn't it?
Ooh, Airwolf.
Yeah. Airwolf. I'll overlay some Airwolf music. Get us banned on YouTube. It is cool.
Yeah, the toy now.